You know the moment. Someone disrespects you in front of other people. Your chest tightens instantly. Your mind races. You start building responses inside your head before they even finish talking. And then you react emotionally. You speak too fast. You explain too much. You try to defend your image immediately because silence feels like losing. But later that night, you replay the situation in your head and realize something painful. Your reaction gave away more weakness than their insult ever could. Because controlled people do not panic under pressure. Controlled people slow down, observe, calculate. They understand that emotional reactions expose internal instability. Then there's the other moment, the quiet one. You're alone at night scrolling through clips of disciplined people, powerful people, successful people, calm people. You save motivational videos, watch mindset content, promise yourself tomorrow will be different, but your real life stays untouched. Hours disappear into consumption disguised as preparation. You feel productive because your brain confuses inspiration with execution. And while you consume another speech about discipline, someone else is building in silence. That realization hurts. Because deep down, you know information is no longer your problem. You already know enough to change your life. What you lack is the willingness to act without recognition. There's a name for this behavior. The noise addiction. It's the psychological need to constantly express, explain, react, and broadcast yourself in order to feel significant. The noise addiction destroys focus because your energy gets scattered into performance. Instead of building quietly, you start narrating your existence. Instead of observing reality, you become obsessed with managing perception. You stop asking, "Am I improving?" You start asking, "Do people think I'm improving?" That shift destroys people. Because once your identity depends on appearance, honesty becomes painful. Real growth becomes difficult, because real growth is quiet, repetitive, and invisible for a long time. Ayanokoji understood this perfectly. He never wasted energy trying to look important. He stayed emotionally neutral, because emotional control creates informational advantage. The calmer person sees more. The desperate person reveals more. And the moment you understand this, your entire life starts looking different. Every argument suddenly feels unnecessary. Every explanation feels expensive. Every emotional reaction starts looking like a leak in your armor. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You were taught that confidence is loud. Speak up, stand out, announce your goals, constantly express yourself. Constantly prove yourself. Constantly show people your value. But look carefully at the people who truly control situations. They rarely rush to speak, because power does not panic. Weakness fills silence immediately. Weakness needs reassurance. Weakness needs attention to survive. That is why insecure people overshare their plans before they build results. They confuse talking about action with taking action. And social media made this disease worse. Now people announce discipline instead of practicing it. They post routines instead of building outcomes. They film the gym session instead of transforming their body. They share quotes about focus while checking their phone every 3 minutes. Their entire identity becomes performance. Like actors trapped on a stage, they start living for appearance instead of reality. That is the trap. You begin performing self-improvement instead of experiencing it. And slowly, your need to look powerful becomes stronger than your desire to become powerful. You're not growing. You're performing growth. The more you talk, the weaker you look. Every unnecessary explanation, every emotional reaction, every attempt to prove yourself to people who already decided how they see you. You think speaking more gives you control. It doesn't. It gives people access to you. Most people destroy their own power with their mouth. They reveal insecurity through over-explaining. They reveal desperation through constant validation seeking. They reveal weakness through emotional reactions they could have controlled if they had stayed silent for 10 more seconds. Ayanokoji understood something most people never will. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is observation. While everyone else rushed to be noticed, he studied patterns. While people chased attention, he collected information. While others reacted emotionally, he stayed still long enough to understand the room before the room understood him. And that changes everything. Because the person who controls his emotions controls the environment around him. The question is not whether you can speak. The question is whether you can stay silent when your ego begs to be seen. Most procrastination is not laziness. It is fear disguised as preparation. You delay action because action creates exposure. Exposure creates judgment. Judgment threatens identity. So your brain protects itself by keeping you in endless preparation loops. Research feels safer than execution. Planning feels safer than risk. Talking about goals feels safer than struggling publicly. That is why so many intelligent people stay stuck for years. Their intelligence becomes a shield against discomfort. They learn endlessly because learning creates the illusion of movement without the danger of failure. But hidden underneath all that preparation is fear. Fear of being average. Fear of embarrassing yourself. Fear of discovering your potential was smaller than your imagination. So you wait. And waiting becomes identity. Then fake discipline enters the picture. Create routines that look impressive, but produce nothing real. Complex schedules, productivity systems, morning rituals designed more for emotional comfort than measurable results. You wake up early, organize tasks, watch productivity videos, rewrite plans, track habits. But your actual output barely changes. Why? Because fake discipline protects the ego. If you stay in preparation mode forever, failure always has an excuse. You can tell yourself you are still getting ready. But the moment you simplify and truly commit, reality gives honest feedback. That honesty terrifies people. So they hide behind routines instead of results. Social media amplifies this weakness beyond recognition. Now people consume motivation like entertainment. One more speech, one more clip, one more quote about discipline before bed. Their brains get dopamine from observing ambition instead of practicing it. They build what psychologists would call a borrowed identity. They feel strong because they watch strong people. They feel disciplined because they consume disciplined content. They feel intelligent because they recognize advanced ideas. But recognition is not transformation. A man can watch videos about fighting for 10 years and still panic in his first real confrontation. Knowledge without action becomes decoration, and slowly, you become addicted to emotional stimulation instead of progress. You stop chasing growth. You start chasing the feeling of growth. That is the modern trap. The comfort zone works the same way. People think comfort feels relaxing. It doesn't. It feels like waiting, like suspension, like standing still while time moves around you. You wake up knowing you should do more, but you negotiate with yourself again and again until another day disappears. Comfort slowly destroys self-respect, because every avoided action sends your brain the same message: I cannot trust myself. That message compounds over years, and eventually the pain becomes existential. Not because you failed, because you never fully entered your own life. What happens when you spend years betraying your own standards? What happens when your future self becomes someone you can barely recognize? That is the real cost. Not embarrassment, not rejection, not temporary failure. The real cost is becoming smaller than the person you were capable of being. You start feeling disconnected from yourself. You lose sharpness. Hunger fades. Confidence becomes performance instead of truth. And one day you realize something terrifying. Nobody stopped you. You stopped yourself. One hesitation at a time. One delay at a time. One excuse at a time. You disappeared gradually. Here's what nobody will say to you. Your life reflects what you tolerate. If you tolerate distraction, your future becomes distraction. If you tolerate weakness, your identity becomes weakness. If you tolerate endless preparation without action, your entire existence becomes almost. Nobody is secretly holding you back anymore. Not your past, not your circumstances, not other people. Your habits are shaping your future in real time. Every day you avoid discomfort. You train yourself to avoid discomfort again tomorrow. That pattern becomes personality. And eventually, you wake up trapped inside a character you created through repetition. Your life changes the moment you stop asking how to feel confident and start proving to yourself that you can act despite fear. Until then, nothing changes. So, speak less. Observe more. Stop announcing goals before results exist. Stop explaining yourself to people who were never building anything themselves. Stop trying to appear disciplined while your private habits stay weak. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Ayanokoji understood that emotional neutrality creates power, because calm people think clearly under pressure. They waste less energy. They reveal less information. They move strategically instead of emotionally. You need that mindset. Not the coldness, not manipulation, the discipline. Stop collecting information. Start producing evidence. Stop waiting to feel ready. Feel terrified and move anyway. Stop building identity. Start building results. Because confidence built through action feels completely different from confidence built through imagination. Imagined confidence collapses under pressure. Earned confidence survives pressure. That is why small actions matter more than giant intentions. Quiet consistency rewires identity faster than emotional motivation ever will. You do not become powerful through aesthetics. You become powerful through repetition. Under discomfort, train yourself to pause before reacting. Train yourself to stay calm while others lose emotional control. Train yourself to act without needing applause. Most people cannot do that. That is why most people stay average. The world doesn't reward the loudest people. It rewards the people who stayed focused, while everyone else needed attention. The world doesn't reward the most prepared. It rewards the ones who moved when they weren't. Some people hearing this will change nothing. They will feel temporary emotion. Maybe comment something about discipline. Maybe save the video for later. Maybe convince themselves they're finally ready to improve. Then tomorrow comes, and they return to distraction immediately. Same scrolling, same excuses, same emotional reactions, same empty routines designed to look productive without producing anything real. I'm not trying to motivate you. Motivation is the problem. This is a mirror, because motivated people still quit when discomfort arrives. Only disciplined people continue after emotion disappears. So this moment becomes separation. One group will close this video and search for another one immediately, because consuming feels easier than confronting themselves in silence. The other group will finally act without needing more reassurance, not because they became fearless, because they became exhausted by their own excuses. You already know which one you are. When this video ends, disappear for a while. Not emotionally, strategically. Stop announcing everything. Stop seeking validation before results exist. Spend the next 7 days building something privately without telling anyone. No posts, no hints, no speeches, no fake productivity. Just work. Train your mind to survive without attention. Train yourself to move without applause. Train yourself to become dangerous quietly. because silent progress changes people. And if you cannot stay focused without external validation, then validation became your addiction. Break that addiction now. Delete the distraction. Finish the task you keep delaying. Start the thing fear keeps pushing into tomorrow. Do it before your mind creates another excuse disguised as logic. Because if you don't move now, this video becomes another temporary emotional high buried beneath your habits. Another speech that almost changed your life. Do not let that happen again. You know who you are. And you know what you've been avoiding. Today is the last time you get to pretend you didn't know.